Tragedy today is not his ousting, but it's the reasons for his ousting. His ousting isn't symptomatic of any critique in the Tory party about the wake of destruction he's left in his trail. It's not symptomatic of a critique of his Boris's destruction of conservatism, all of which in the 3 years have been extraordinarily speeded up. It's not a critique of his reckless squandering of his opportunity, whether it was on Brexit, and his complete wrong-headedness over lockdowns and his reckless vaccine rollout, all things which he vaingloriously puts down to things that are wonderful for his legacy. They're not. They're a terrible legacy. They're a shocking legacy. He has the most shocking legacy of any Prime Minister to date that I can remember in my lifetime, and that actually, you know, that says something.
No, so but everyone accepted in 2019, okay, we've had enough of the pygmies like Cameron and May. We want a man who has the size of the job. And you're saying, in fact, he's smaller than those two.
Yes, he's an inflated balloon. He's an actor and he's a narcissist. And I think a lot of what's gone wrong is actually down to his character. His character is not only destructive personally, I think he's extended that destruction. I don't think he cares. He thought it was the best job. That's not the way to look at being Prime Minister. It's the best job you can get. He's empty, I think, and I think he's cowardly and weak. He will say yes to the last man, but he's a tremendously good actor. So even with his speech today, that people immediately saying, oh, people are going to regret that he's leaving, and look, and this, that and the other. He does his own PR extremely well, the bumbling stuff, plus simply the absolute confidence. There's no remorse in his speech, no regret. No worry that he might have got a few things wrong. No worry about net zero. No worry about the biggest state takeover since the Second World War. The Coronavirus Act, those were more restrictive than the emergency acts that went in at the Second World War. I mean, this was never a Conservative agenda. It was always a leftist agenda.
Is he a weak man? I mean, he's quite, when it comes to, you know, like picking up secretaries and then discarding them like used tissues, he's a big man like that, but is he weak in important things? I
think he's weak in important things. I think he's amoral. And people have said for a long time you couldn't judge this, and we've gone against this whole idea of making any moral judgments, and I think this has come back to bite us in a very big way. I don't think Boris is capable of making a moral judgment, and unfortunately a lot of people think we oughtn't to make moral judgments now. But we were completely, this is the problem with politics, it's a political wasteland. It's devoid of any concept of virtue, and it's totally taken over by virtue signalling about looking as though you're doing the right thing. Well, Boris gets onto that act, you know, trading off the idea of toxic masculinity. It's show. It's showmanship.
And oddly